Good evening, everyone. This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my monthly Step It Up Sunday. I'm going to give it a few more seconds for everyone to join me. I'm trying to find you guys. There you are. Welcome, everyone. So just a few things to mention while everybody joins me tonight. My new hostess code for the month of October. Make sure you use this numeric and alpha number when you check out of my online store to earn some free products from me. My door prize for the month of October for any and all orders is the Share What You Love embellishment kit. I haven't opened it. It's brand new, so you can't see what's inside, but most of you should know what's in there anyway. This is my free card kit for the month of October for anyone that places an online order. This is called a split panel card because it has the two pieces here that are held together with this center portion. So everyone that orders from me online will get all the pieces to make their own card minus the sentiment. And lastly, what I want to mention tonight is my Merry Christmas Card Club, which has been going very well for me. This will be my third month. And because we have some new products for the month of November that are available for just 1 month, I'm featuring the Christmas Time is Here suite. And I just wanted to show you what is included in the suite. So if you join my Merry Christmas Club for the month of November, you get half a package of the beautiful designer paper, and I've showed that in a separate video. All 6 of the sheets, so you get half a package. All 6 of your sheets will have some gold foil on one side, and then you get the plain pattern on the other side. You also receive a package of the gold glitter enamel dots and a spool of the gold shimmer ribbon. This is such pretty ribbon, and it's 1/4 of an inch wide. And then if you want to do the add-on, there's a few things that you can add on to the Christmas Club. You can add on the 2 cases, 1 set of the Christmas Rose stamp set. And what I like about the Christmas Rose stamp set, you get the coordinating dies. 1 stamp set is actually the red rubber cling mount, and the other set is actually photopolymer. So isn't that neat how they mixed both types of our stamps? So anyway, all of the information is on my blog and on my Facebook page if you're interested. And then I'm going to just show you a sneak peek of 2 cards. So one of the cards included in the kit, you'll get all the pieces to complete this card. And this paper is actually from the designer paper that gets cut out with the dies. But look how pretty the enamel dots and the ribbon, everything shimmers. And then included in the kit, so you'll have enough card kits to make 8 cards. And then I'm going to have bonus project sheet for 3 cards, and this is one of the bonus cards that I have. So it's got a lot of layers, a lot of stamping, and again the enamel dots and the shimmer ribbon. Okay, I'm all ready for tonight. So tonight I am using the Harvest Hellos stamp set and the coordinating punch. So you can see here that you can do either the pumpkins or the apples. And tonight, because fall has arrived, I'm actually going to be doing pumpkins. So let me give you the colors I'm using. Terracotta tile, granny apple green, and soft suede for ink colors. And because this is Step It Up Sunday, that means that I start out with a very simple card and I step it up twice. So we're going to be creating 3 cards tonight. This is the first one. This is my clean and simple card. So I'm starting out with thick whisper white, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm using the Monster Bash designer paper on all 3 cards tonight. I'm starting out with a little sliver that is 3/4 of an inch wide, And the paper, I measured it at 6 inches, which is just a tad bit too long. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that. I have most of my paper cut up in 6 by 6. So I decided I was just gonna stick this on and then trim it. So for those of you guys that like the clean and simple cards, this is really simple. Now let me bring in, this is Mango Melody, which I'm doing the pumpkin, soft suede for the stem, and Granny Apple Green for the leaf. So let's start out with the pumpkin. So I'm going to ink up, I almost said Tangerine Tango, terracotta tile on the Mango Melody. I wanted the outline of the stamp image to show up really well. So there's my pumpkin. So you're going to watch me do some punching tonight, quite a bit of punching. Now, I do know that I need 3 leaves total. I need 2 for card number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp all 3. And the same thing with the stem. So this was Granny Apple Green on Granny Apple Green cardstock. Now I'm going to do soft suede on soft suede. And what I want to show you is when you cut out with the punch, the stem is going this way. So I'm going to make sure I align my stems the same way. And again, I need 3 only because I need 2 for card number 2. So I'm going to punch everything out so it'll be all ready for card number 2, except for the pumpkins. I'm going to have to cut out some more pumpkins. Okay, there's my little stem. So there's 3 stems. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the leaf. And again, we're going to have 3 of those. And I need to trim my cardstock piece so I can get it in there. And I'm just going to warn you, card number 3, again, I'm going to call card number 3 my wow card. I love what I did with it. You'll have to wait and see. Now let's go ahead and glue the pumpkin in place. And I overlapped it just a tad on the designer paper. And then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, tuck one of the stems under the pumpkin, and then add a little leaf. So there's my cute, adorable little pumpkin. Next is the cute sentiment that says, "Hey there, pumpkin." And there we go. There's card number 1. How quick is that? So if you have a lot of Halloween cards to make, you could make this really quickly. Now let's move on to card number 2. So in order to step it up, what I'm adding to card number 2 is layers and more pumpkins. This one starts out with Mango Melody, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So all 3 cards are in this direction tonight. Next is Whisper White, 5 1/4 by 4. How would you guys love to get all 3 of my cards tonight? Okay, I'm going to glue that in place. So you know what to do in order to get my cards, right? Now I should have snipped this. I'm going to bring my trimmer in, my brand new trimmer. And I'm going to measure at 5 1/4. And I am bragging up this trimmer. This cuts so well, you guys. You need to get one when it comes out because it cuts awesome. Okay, now instead of putting the designer paper in the center like I did on the other card, I'm going to show you the card in a minute too. I'm putting it at the bottom. And let me bring the card in. So see how many layers I'm adding to this one? Pretty simple, but still it packs a little bit more of a punch because of the the additional colors and the additional pumpkin that I'm going to add. So now let me bring in a scrap piece of paper. I've gone ahead and stamped a pumpkin on a Post-it note. And when I did that, I made sure the sticky part was at the top and I cut it out. Now when I cut it out, because I am doing some masking, I cut off the lines on the outside to make it a little smaller. Now I need to clean off my stamp with my chamois. And I'm going to use soft suede ink on soft suede cardstock. So I'm going to add 2 pumpkins on the bottom. Now this is where my masking comes in. I'm going to cover this first pumpkin. And I'm going to stamp right on top, and then when I remove this, it looks like they're behind each other. There's pumpkin number 2. Again, I'm going to use, this is called a mask if you've never done masking before. And I'm again going to stamp on top of the Post-it note and remove it, and there's the magic. Now we also need to add some stems to each pumpkin. And I'm also going to add a leaf. Let's see, I'm going to try to sneak them in right here. You just barely can see them. So there's my masked layer. Very simple. But doesn't it look great with the multi-dimensional looking pumpkins? Now I'm going to add this right in the center. And now we get to create 2 more pumpkins. And again, I already have my little stems and leaves. I need to clean my pumpkin again. Terracotta tile. So I need 2 this time. And I'm going to bring in my punch to cut out both of these pumpkins. Okay, there's my 2 pumpkins. And I'm actually going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to glue them in place. Just 2 on each one. Oh, Cindy's telling everyone that she really likes the mango melody. You know what's funny about anytime I use orange, I have a customer that absolutely hates the color orange. It doesn't matter what color of orange that I use, she just hates orange. And she always emails me to tell me that when I create a project using any color of orange. I like orange. Okay, now I'm adding the stems. So card number 2 is almost complete. Now I'm going to tuck my leaves on top of the pumpkin. Oh, that one has a big gob. Let me see if I can get a scrap to get some of that off. I got way too much glue there. Okay, there's my 2 pumpkins. Now I've got a scrap piece of white. And I am using the same sentiment on all 3 cards. I'm not going to be careful that this is lined up because what I did here was actually hand cut as close to the lettering as I could. If you follow the top and the bottom of the letters, you should be able to go nice and straight. I know some of you guys are probably cringing. But I just followed real close and it was really easy to cut. Whoops, it stuck to my finger. Okay, there's card number 2. Now let me go ahead and set up for card number 3. I'm cruising right along, but it's always easy when everything's all done for you. Now we're adding even more colors on card number 3. Let me try to get the glue off my finger. And I am going to do some embossing. So for this one, same cardstock base size, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Mango Melody, 5 1/4 by 4. And I'll show you the card once I glue this piece on. Okay, ready to see the card? I know you're going to say, wow, I just know it. Okay, ready? Here you go. So this is card number 3. This is my wow card. And voila, this is my 3D pumpkin. Isn't that the coolest? And it actually folds flat for mailing. So I'm going to show you how to do that if you've never done one of these before. I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the white layer. Now the white layer measures 4 3/4 by 3.5. And I can see a lot of love. I can see a lot of hearts going. Thanks for all the hearts, everyone. And I'm just trimming. Now this piece, I forgot to tell you the measurement. It's actually 1.5 inches wide. And again, it was 6 inches and I just snipped off the end. Now I'm going to bring in the big shot so I can emboss both layers together with the Swirls and Curls embossing folder. And that's the only time I'm using the big shot tonight. And wait till you see how cool this looks. So I embossed the designer paper along with the white. Isn't that pretty? I love the way that looks. Now let me bring everything back in. I hope I didn't lose anything. Now we can glue this to the front. And that's going to be centered. And then I have the stitched labels dies. This one measures about 3 3/4 inches wide. I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the front. And that's with Granny Apple Green. And I am putting the little peak on each end just a little higher than the designer paper. Now we got to cut out 5 pumpkins. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you need 5 pumpkins, and then we're going to actually fold these in half with the scoreboard. And then I'm going to show you how I glued them together. And you know, you could also do this with our ornament set, the Brightly Gleaming, I think it's called, with the ornament punch. You could do the same exact thing. Now I'm bringing in my scoring tool. And all I'm doing is lining this up. I have a black mark on the 6-inch mark, just to make it easy for me to see. And I'm scoring these in half. And what I'm doing is I'm making sure that both sides are up against the little wall here, so that they're all going to be the same. It's very important that they're all the same. Okay, there's my 5 scored pumpkins. Now we're going to fold them. And then I'm just going to glue them together. Okay, let me bring the card back in so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to start out with adding glue just to 1/2. My fingers are so sticky. And what I'm doing when I'm pressing them together is making sure that the edge is even. I'm going to add glue to another 1/2. So you're going to do this 5 times. So there's 3 of them. And again, making sure this is nice and flat because you actually have to open this up and glue it on the label shape. Whoops. Now I'm going to get even more glue on my fingers. Okay, so this is how I did that. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And then I'm going to bring in my granny apple ribbon. And what I did is I cut a piece like this. I brought in some linen thread. I'm actually going to lay that down about halfway. And I'm just going to tie a double knot, or maybe I did a bow. Oh, I did a bow on this. Never mind, I'm going to do a bow. You almost need somebody else to help you with this. You almost need 4 hands. So how I tie this real tight because this is what I'm using for the stem of my pumpkin rather than using the punched pieces. So now I'm going to create a little tiny bow. And then I'll just bring in my loops to make them smaller. I just thought the ribbon looked so cute as a stem for my pumpkin. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the top at an angle. So now what I'm going to do is open this up flat. I'm going to add some snail. Whoops. Just in the middle so that I can glue my little pumpkin stem. Okay, look how cute that is. Isn't that cute? And now I'm going to just add some liquid glue. And then put some pressure on my pumpkin. And while that's, you know what I'm going to do actually, I usually do this when I want something to get glued down. I'm bringing in my punch and I'm going to set that on there while we finish up. So now we're going to do the sentiment. And I'm actually going to flag the end. And my last step, I've got 2 leaves that I've already gone ahead and stamped and cut, but I'm going to do one with you. So there's no punch for this leaf, but it's really quick to just go around and cut. And I leave a little bit of green on the outside of the stamped lines. So you can see how quick this is to cut. I know a lot of you guys hate to fussy cut, but I love to fussy cut. I think it's so relaxing. Okay, now let's bring in the card and finish it up. So now I can go ahead and fluff this up so it's a 3D pumpkin. And let me just trim this. And this is a 1/2 inch wide. I forgot to mention that. All I'm going to do with that is tuck it under the pumpkin. Just like that. And then I'm using mini dimensionals to glue all of my leaves in place. Let's see, I'm going to put one right here. And you could do more than 3 leaves if you wanted to go crazy. I just thought cutting 3 of these was plenty. I'm going to tuck that one under the pumpkin. And then lastly, I'm going to use some iridescent sequins with my glue dots. I'm actually picking out the larger ones to start out because they fit perfectly on our glue dots. I just lost the one I had. I'm trying to pick out a different color. I'm getting really low on my sequins. Here's a green one. I'll do green on this one. And for my last one, I'm going to add just a little tiny one right here. And I'm actually going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool. and glue that right there. Now let me move these over so I can bring all of my cards back in. Let me see, I got paper everywhere here. Okay, so this was my wow card. I hope you agree. This was card number 2, where we added a few layers of cardstock and 2 pumpkins. And then this one was my clean and simple card. So what do you guys think? You like all 3 of the cards? And I love the color combination. That melon mango really looks good with the granny apple green. So let me go ahead and bring the stamp set back in. It's called Harvest Hellos with the coordinating punch. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And thanks so much for visiting with me tonight and stamping with me. Have a good night, everyone, and I hope to see you soon.